Hi, do you have Prince Albert in a can? Hi, Grant Hill, please. Tell him this is his coach. Is this Jason Kidd? Jason, baby. Hey, forget about the pros. Why don't you transfer over to Duke? Hi, yeah, I'm calling for Big Dog. I'd like to leave a 4 a.m. wake-up call. Yeah, no, it's okay.
First time in a limo, coach?
First time without my good pal Bobby Knight.
Think you're going to the Final Four this year, coach?
Hey, aren't you Coach Krzyzewski?
You mean Krzyzewski? Yes, I am.
And hi, everybody. Again, I'm Pat O'Brien. And did I make a mistake earlier? Yes, I did. Arizona will play the winner of Michigan and Arkansas. Maybe my first mistake, JB. The whole
Only
tournament
one.
Here at 6 o'clock, Coach Krzyzewski goes up against Purdue. It's Duke. Krzyzewski goes up against the Boilermakers at Purdue right at 6 o'clock. And meantime, back in Los Angeles, they are cutting the nets down in Los Angeles as Arizona goes up the ladder. And what a great moment for Lute Olson and this team after their early exits in the last two tournaments. Haven't been to the Final Four since 1988, and this has got to be some moment for anybody. And let's go back to our studios here in New York, and we're joined by our coaches, Stu Jackson of Wisconsin and Rick Pitino of Kentucky. And what about this Arizona team? We love this backcourt, don't we?
I think it's the best backcourt in the nation, but it's just great to see. Lute Olson and the players have had this burden the last 2 years, getting knocked out in the first round. People saying they're soft, people saying they don't guard. Here is a physically tough basketball team that defends. They go to the board strong. They know their roles, and this backcourt is devastating.
Let's talk about the next game and talk about Grant Hill for a minute for Duke.
Well, you know, in Grant Hill, you really have the consummate team player. You know, it's a great matchup in the game with Glenn Robinson as well as Hill. Oddly enough, I don't feel either person will guard the other one. But the roles are really different. Grant Hill can do what he can for his basketball team in terms of scoring, passing the ball. Glenn Robinson really has a disposition to dominate for Purdue.
Speaking of Glenn Robinson, your team held him to the lowest output this season, 15 points. What was successful for you against him?
I think the mistake you can really make with Purdue is to go out and just completely shut off Glenn Robinson. What you've got to do is also contain Matt Waddell as well as Konzo Martin. We really tried to help off of Porter Roberts and their five-man at the center position to give early help and trap Glenn Robinson.
Rick, what are your keys to the game? What's your scouting report here?
Well, I think that Duke has a little more experience, but I think Purdue's going to beat Duke. I think this is Purdue's year. I think they're going to the Final Four. I think that if Robinson can take good shots and not shoot a low percentage, I think that's the key. I think they will win. If he shoots a low percentage, Duke wins.
You know, you talk so much about styles at this time of the year during the NCAA tournament. Talk about the style difference between Purdue and Duke and why you think Purdue.
Well, I think it's all styles. People say, well, one team versus the other. I don't think that matters. It's style. Last night you saw Florida play their style against Connecticut, and Connecticut won the up-tempo. Today, the better transition team won in an up-tempo game. Duke can play either way. Duke can play slow. Duke can play fast. Purdue wants to play slow and take advantage of Glenn Robinson.
All right, guys, the tip is at 6 o'clock here as we show you another shot of Los Angeles and Lute Olson with one of the youngest Wildcats and people celebrating with sisters and moms and dads, and they're all over the floor there. That's what it's supposed to be all about. We'll be back with more from New York, from points elsewhere. After this, stay with us.
Oscars of college basketball. Best male player, best female player. The envelope, please. The Van Naismith Award, Sunday on CBS.
Looking live at Knoxville, the big dog sign. They're getting ready to go to work against Duke. Coming up 6 minutes from now, it's Duke and Purdue as March Madness is in full swing on the final weekend of the tournament. We'll be back.
Welcome to Knoxville, Tennessee. On the campus of the University of Tennessee, Southeast Regional Championship with the top-seeded Purdue Boilermakers taking on the #2 Duke Blue Devils. Duke at stake today, a trip to the Final Four in Charlotte, and Duke has been there 5 times now in the last 6 years. Purdue looking for their first trip in 14. Good afternoon, everyone, or evening in some parts of the country. Welcome to Knoxville. Greg Gumbel along with Bill Raftery. Andrea Joyce is with us as well. 2 fine teams today, Bill, with 2 outstanding ball players on the floor, each a leader in his own right. Purdue's Glenn Robinson and Grant Hill of the Duke Blue Devils.
Both have one object: to win. Forceful in nature, Glenn Robinson, a guy who goes strong, gives a message and a massage when he finishes in his strong fashion with authority. And on the opposite end, not a bad performer either when it takes an opportunity to go strong and finish. He has ginger steps, plays outside and runs the show.
That's Cuonzo Martin of Purdue, who will be instrumental if Purdue is to be successful because he's a big supporting cast.
Well, Gene Katie keeps saying others can play and they have to step up. You take a look at this little double for Zoe. Duke is going to force Purdue to run their offense. They're going to try and play Robinson and Stu Jackson. They're going to let Grant Hill guard Robinson early. It's a gamble. We'll see how that works. You see the double screen and then the release to the corner, the ball reversal, and a knockdown for 3 and a free throw. So Duke's got to be prepared for that as well.
Cuonzo Martin hit 8 of those in the victory here on Thursday evening. Starting lineups: Tony Lang and Grant Hill at the forward for Duke, with Cherokee Parks in the middle, Chris Collins and Jeff Capel in the backcourt. For Purdue, Glenn Robinson and Cuonzo Martin up front, along with Brandon Brantley. In the backcourt, Porter Roberts and Matt Waddell. Purdue 29-4, Duke 26-5. We're looking at the #1 teams out of the Big Ten and ACC, respectively, this season. If Gene Katie wins his 300th game at Purdue this year, it will be in the championship game next Monday night. His opposite number, Coach, how do you pronounce that last name?
Coach K.
Coach K.
Pretty impressive in regionals.
There is Glenn Robinson, who comes in averaging 36 points a game in the 3 tournament games so far. Our officials: John Clockerty of Raleigh, North Carolina, Gerald Boudreau out of Lafayette, Louisiana, John Cahill of Albany, New York. Duke with the opening tip.
And the Boilermakers, man-to-man.
This is Capel in the backcourt.
Trying to establish Parks early. Nice front.
Brandon Brantley with the defensive play. And this is Cuonzo Martin. Robinson rejected by Parks. Parks had 5 blocked shots 2 nights ago.
Nice cut.
Lang. 2-0 Duke.
In watching the Michigan tape, when they cut, they got baskets. Purdue overreacts. There will be cutting lanes for a flash.
Cherokee Parks 5 blocked shots against Marquette here Thursday night. He already has 1 this evening.
And Mike Krzyzewski has promised Grant Hill on the big dog.
Robinson back.
All it worked once, he led him to Parks. Try to deny him, make him catch it out further on the floor, and if he's going to shoot a 3, make him dribble for the 3.
Tied at 2, 1:20 into the game.
Will pop out in a lock look.
Hill with Robinson on him, flips it back to Parks.
The cheat with the kiss. Now those 2 pass to one another beautifully, particularly Hill to Parks. Now look at Parks looking to help on a post-up by Robinson. He's playing zone back there off Brandon Brantley. He will, a little bit like Duke did against Temple, laid off their big people.
Martin inside, high off the glass, and the rebound to Hill. Capel.
Good kiss. They need open floor opportunities. Purdue has to force them into running their half-court set. Keep the numbers down.
6-2 Duke. This is Matt Waddell. Getting side, and a soft floater.
Well, full court pressure right now. You got to post up. They can turn this to their advantage. Part of the Katie change, a lot more pressing, a lot more open play. Interesting matchup here, huh?
Waddell on Grant Hill out front.
He should be able to get some jump shots over the top.
Parks shoved as he got the shot away, and that will count. Foul came before the shot.
They do not have a true center. And one of the problems that Purdue will have of matching up with the Chief, Cherokee, a terrific turnaround jump shooter. You got to get up and under him and not with the hands as he did that time.
First of the game on Brantley.
A little double for Hill. Now, Gene Katie wanted an aggressive defender. That's why Porter Roberts is out there.
Capel. And Robinson with the rebound. His first of the game.
And Roberts has to play sound, too. No turnovers. Had a tough early first half.
Waddell's shot doesn't go. Loose ball picked off by Capel.
They got numbers.
2-on-1. Hill will take it, and the offensive foul. Waddell took the charge.
NCAA play affects even the great ones. Grant Hill had Chris Collins wide open, but wanted to make sure this was a strong completion and ends up with what I might consider a little nickel-dimer, but if he gave it up, they got the deuce.
6-4, Duke by 2. Martin hits the 2 to tie the game. Konzo Martin, 8 out of 13 from three-point land on his way to 29 points against Kansas here Thursday night. That's out of bounds, off Collins to Purdue.
Well, Zoe, we showed you the double outside earlier, and then he flared to the corner here. Not the three-pointer, but an impact jumper as well. You take the high side, as Collins does here, too, with Waddell.
That's a travel on Waddell as Collins comes back to tie him up and get the ball back.
Well, if you can make that pass, there's too much distance to go back to the baseline. You may see Duke trailing eventually on those corner cuts.
Victories over Texas Southern, Michigan State, and then Marquette here in Knoxville for the Blue Devils.
Now, this is all put in the European trip. They go with a little gusto in their press, get back, and they're very confident in their man-to-man.
Collins retrieves. Robinson on Hill.
A couple of $1 million matchup.
And let's see who the foul is on.
I think Brantley. Good. Purdue reacts beautifully. You teach your guys to respond. You see somebody in trouble, get over. But what they occasionally do is leave early, and there's an open passing lane.
15:55 to play. Hill will shoot 2. The Boilermakers 29-4, and an impressive victory over Kansas here on Thursday evening. We'll take time out. Duke leads it 7-6, 8-6.
Back in Knoxville during this tournament, Gene Katie has turned to a former Purdue player for inspiration. John Wooden was a 3-time All-America at Purdue in the 30s. We spoke to Coach Wooden this afternoon, and his message to Katie is the same. Don't overwork your players mentally. That will cause them to, you just can't teach them new stuff at this point in the tournament. Wooden says that's the mistake he made in losing his first 5 tournament games as a coach before going on to win, of course, 10 national titles at UCLA. Coach Katie says that that advice has helped him to relax. I don't know, Greg, what do you think? Does he look calm to you?
I don't know that I've ever seen him not calm, Andrea.
Lang with the reach in. Andrea, I hate to tell you, I worked the games when Wooden was playing.
The last time Purdue had a National Player of the Year was John Wooden in 1932.
And Gene Katie was saying that he's asked the coach, how about my sideline decorum? He said, well, maybe I ought to pass on that, Gene.
We are tied at 8. coming up on 15 minutes to play in the first half. Robinson over Hill and short. Robinson now 1 out of 3. Hill for 3.
Now that's unselfish. Capel had the good look, willing to give it up. How about down this end? In looking at tape, Glenn Robinson doesn't go to his left as well. Now that doesn't mean he can't do it, but you see Duke pushing him that way. Occasionally you'll see Parks down on the box if he goes all the way.
Robinson with just 2 points. Waddell stripped to the ball by Collins. 2 nights ago, by this time in the game, he had about 12.
I mentioned how important Parks is. They established him early, going back to him right now.
Out of bounds to Duke.
That story on Robinson going left, they used to say Jerry West could only go right. He got 25 points if he took the right away. If he didn't, he got 40. Same thing with Glenn Robinson. You just slow him down a little.
Number 21, Herb Dove, into the game to replace Porter Roberts.
And the sign of that, Dove, is great defense. He can really rag a guy. That's why he's on Grant Hill. Little bump on the inbounds.
Tony Lang fighting for position against Robinson down low. And Dove has taken over guarding Hill for the moment. Hill with the spin, and Robinson has it. 11-8, Duke by 3.
Pretty. I told you can't go left. Drive and attract somebody and dump it off. Showing you a little bit tonight. Was going for the hoop the other night, now passing.
Ian Stanback has 4 points.
Nice job by Stanback, took away the post.
Hill went around Robinson, but it didn't fall, and back comes Robinson. On the drive, and a blocking foul on Chris Collins, and the basket counts.
I like the call, but I'd wipe out the goal. I think he was by him. On the side. Well,
he was into his step and a half.
Open floor. He made. Once you make the motion to the goal, I got to give it to you.
Mike Krzyzewski not at all pleased, and that man is not the happiest in the house. That is Doug Collins, Chris's dad.
Greg said it was a good call, Doug. Not too bad. All year long, and of course in the tournament.
Boilermakers get the rebound. Waddell with an open 3. And Eric Meek, who was in the lineup for Duke, has the rebound, along with Marty Clark, number 3 for Duke.
Meek, an aggressive guy on the glass. You may see he and Parks together at some point in the game. Here's their baseline bump.
Hill almost got caught in the air. Capel alone, 3-pointer. And Duke has the lead by 2.
The growth of Capel and Collins is what has made this Duke team such a tough out. Look at all the help.
Inside, number 33, Justin Jennings, and we're tied at 14.
Now, Greg, that's going to happen because everybody's paying attention to Robinson. What you have to do is not go and help if he stops. Stay on your guy.
Jennings is on the floor for Conzo Martin.
Now, Marty Clark gives him some instant offense when he's on the floor.
Lang. Tap up by Meek, no good. He follows.
Well, Eric is not humble of heart. He attacks the glass.
Foul is on number 34, Ian Stanback. That's his first. Coming up on CBS tomorrow in the East, how about those BC Eagles? 9th seed. And they've moved on to the finals. And in the Midwest, Arkansas plays Michigan. Capel. And that one looks like it'll go against Meek.
Duke seems to be rushing just a little bit on the offense. I think if they turn it over a few times, because Purdue is pursuing, they're capable of getting some little back cuts.
Martin back on the floor, and this time he'll give Robinson a breather. Robinson 2 out of 4 from the floor, and a total of 4 points.
And Zoe, one of those great stories. He tried 2 years ago to work on the three, missed a lot of them in the beginning of the year, stopped it. Ends up 0 for 7 for 2 years, tried it again, and had a big preseason game against his teammates and made 8. And then Lasky started making them, and the rest is history. Just sensational. Little back cut, and nobody sees it.
Waddell fouled by Cable.
See what Robinson does to you, though? Everybody looking for his neighborhood. They got a fence around them. Step and go, Petey Carrill. A little Princeton action. Ball reversal, defense up, doesn't close out with balance. The back cut, and Waddell, who's gotten a lot stronger in an off-season weight program, does not convert, but with the easy look.
Hill and Lang to the bench for Duke. So Duke has Capel, Collins back on the floor, Meek, Clark, and Cherokee Parks. Matt Waddell, a 6'4" senior from Tipton, Indiana.
Dad Phil was his high school coach. Mentioned that the other night that he started liking this game at a young age. Went to Dean Smith's camp. Picked up a few things there, I'm sure.
Purdue by 1.
Made goal. They get a chance to give him a different look. Press has been effective.
Purdue by 2 with 11:46 to play. We'll come back to Knoxville. Welcome back to Knoxville. 11:46 to play in the first half, and Grant Hill with a breather on the sideline. This is how the duel has gone so far. 1 point more for Hill, 1 more rebound for Robinson.
That's a shutout on Robinson, huh? Really gets him quickly. Critical time now. Purdue should step up the defense without Hill on the floor. Get it inside. They got 2 strong, nice shape up by the Chief. Parks.
And Robinson with another rebound. That's 5 for him.
Meek's got Robinson. He may take him outside. See, Purdue will wait for him.
Robinson.
That's a tough matchup. A lot of clubs forget about their mainline guy. Not Purdue.
Purdue by 4. 11 minutes to play, first half.
They're switching the inside people. Purdue's going to have to slip to the high post to make it work. Oh.
Out of bounds. That should belong to Duke. That was scooped out of bounds by Porter Roberts. And Gene Cady, I think he's laughing because he thought maybe he was going to get away with it.
John Wooden, your advice worked. How common. Now, you've got to take that shot. Nice job because of the switch. They all stayed home low. Meek snuck high. And here's the new Cady personality.
Grant Hill back on the floor.
Can
this
shoot
is a
over.
mismatch here. Too hard. Lang follows.
What's made Duke very good, I think, Lang, Collins, and Capel. And they got a violation stepping over the line. Not a Duke guy in sight.
Gene Cady is probably saying, if you want to talk nickel-dimers, the rules are rules. Martin with the steal. Tapped by Robinson, no good. Back comes Lang.
Numbers, too. Good post up.
Lang missed the easy one. Darner, Leighton Darner with the rebound.
These guys are actually too pumped up, Greg. Got to back it off and relax just a little bit. It's not over in the first 10 minutes. Robinson screens and gets free. Pretty pass. Again, the attention to others.
Porter Roberts had what was for him a difficult game the other night with 6 turnovers against Kansas. He averages less than 2 a game. But he set up stand back for that one. 20-16 Boilermakers. Clark lost it. Martin for three.
That's where they're tough. They can go to the goal or they spread, which so capable of knocking them down.
Purdue by 7.
Pick and roll.
Hill took it himself. It didn't fall, and Purdue with the ball. Grant Hill shadowing Glenn Robinson.
Oh, he walked.
Did indeed.
Darner, that hasn't shot well this year, but can make outside shots.
Roberts, tough shot.
Ooh, the kiss.
Tough shot by Porter Roberts. Timeout, Duke.
Well, Greg Gumbel, Gene Keddy said others can help. Porter Roberts, you mentioned, struggled the other night, but here the penetration, the dish, has all the bodies paying attention either to Robinson or the basketball. Rick Pitino could illustrate this back in the studio. The push for three, the drive to survive, and then the penetration. And who else? Porter Roberts with the kiss with affection. He is on fire, and all without, well, he made a mistake here. Porter, all without Robinson contributing in any of those highlights.
In the victory over Kansas, the rest of the team outside of Glenn Robinson and Cuonzo Martin totaled 10 points. Tonight, outside of those two, they have all 14 already.
You don't win the Big Ten with one guy. A great job defensively. Now they got Dove, who can wear you out. Take Porter Roberts off, let him relax a little. There's their inverted stacks.
Dove shoving, trying to get through the pick set by Tony Lang. We talked about how important that supporting cast would be to Glenn Robinson. That's pretty good production so far.
They've stepped up and solid. Jennings, a little excitement when he's on the floor. Attacks the 10.
Cable will go to the line.
He will be something in a year or so.
That's number 2 on Porter Roberts.
Jeff, the confidence. And early in the year, they didn't know who to put in the backcourt. And all of a sudden, Collins and Capable have stepped up and done a nice job. He's got a mind for offense, too. A very athletic type when he attacks the 10. But heady in the backcourt, gets it to the right spot and can penetrate and can knock down the 3 as well.
And what a leaper. He puts on quite a show in warm-ups, doesn't he?
He goes to the cup.
Coming up tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern Time on CBS, the Naismith Award. A candidate or two out here.
I think a couple of these guys will be watching tomorrow.
Grant Hill, Glenn Robinson. 25-17 Purdue.
Duke's giving some up on the press and on the fast break. They've got to play solid half court now. Big sequence now as Capel plays them out. He just analyzes beautifully. If he's got a little guy, he knows he can shoot the jumper. He's got a big guy he can dribble by and post up anybody. Just elevates enough.
Collins open for 3. And a little shove from behind on Parks. This is called a mismatch.
Yeah, he just understands. And great players see things slowly. It's almost like a Polaroid. It develops that slow for others, but it's a snapshot for him. Knockdown jumper or put it on the floor.
Cuonzo Martin guilty of his first personal. And Parks goes to the line where he shoots 77%.
Now you mentioned Robbins. I call him Big Dog. That's what they call me when I play, but I don't think they meant the same thing.
I'm sure they didn't.
Well, they tried to establish the chief, but the fast pace of the Duke offense, they've forgotten about him. I think he needs more touches. Tough matchup for Purdue.
Came up short on the second shot. Loose ball out of bounds to Duke. 42, Brantley. Back on the floor. Stanback goes to the bench with 6 points tonight. He averages 4.2.
I'm sorry, Greg. I'm just looking at Jeff Capel. He's calling out the plays. We talked about Waddell, a coach's son, another coach's son.
Lang short. Robinson with another rebound. Robinson with 7 of them so far tonight.
And Mike goes back with Grant Hill on Robinson.
Brantley looking for a way over Parks.
He does not have a real good inside game. He's a banger, rebounder, defender.
Brantley, in fact, has not yet scored in the tournament. Hill, open jumper.
And a nice bump by Collins.
Lang recovers. Capel inside for Lang.
Pretty dish, huh? Good players find bailouts.
Tony Lang has 6. Purdue's lead is 7.
Nice job by Grant. What footwork. That's when he posts up Grant. He's got to use that speed.
Parks.
Playing for the jump shot. Good execution.
Cherokee Parks has 5, and Purdue's lead is down to 5.
They got an offensive foul.
Looks like it's
Robinson, I think, huh?
It is on Robinson. That's his first.
On the pick, they exchanged the baseline. You notice Parks on the other end. If you let him control that 3-second lane, he's not a freshman with later in his ear anymore. He's got confidence, goes strong. We mentioned the turnaround jumper, but that time in traffic, the confidence to bounce. Right here, you can see all alone as Brantley bodies up, and he should be moving the leg and getting a pinch from the wing.
Tony Lang to the line, 1-1. Seven points for Lang.
Big thing that Mike felt on Lang, he has to be active. Didn't feel he was active down in Florida in the tournament. Terrific defender. He's got the Martin assignment.
Robinson with Hill up top.
Well, dog's got to eat. If you're a scorer, you like to take the ball.
Here comes Duke, down 3 with 5:50 to play in the first half.
So that's what being in a tournament for all these years does to a club. They could have been run out a little bit, but poised. Mike took Hill out at a critical time, let him rest, didn't panic. Belief in themselves.
Marquette jumped off to a 9-0 lead against them here Thursday night. Not a sign of panic.
Well, they're goal-oriented, and sort of the Army background in Mike shows through with this club. Tough pass.
Shot clock at 5. Parks. Parks again. And Lang will go to the line.
Well, they get one another's face with the motion, but right here, the second look, I thought when he contacted the body, he would knock this one down, but Mike wants activity out of Lang. So he provides the lift. Antonio strong on the goal.
Second personal on Herb Dove.
I don't know if they got a taunting situation here.
The technical foul is called on the bench. Lang missed it.
That's the football side of him. See, basketball guys always have control.
Sure.
Well, he has instilled his personality in his team, and that's just to let everybody know he's in the house.
Lang missed. And now here's Parks. These are the technical.
You're talking a possible 7-point play if they made all the free throws and the ball.
Porter Roberts back onto the floor for Herb Dove. Porter Roberts from nearby Chattanooga, Tennessee.
kid who wanted the big time. Really made Tennessee feel good. That was his statement. I want to go and get some pub.
27-26, Purdue by 1, Duke with the ball.
And one of the key things for Gene Katie when we spoke to him yesterday was don't let Duke get to the foul line. They've been there 12 times. A little bit like Indiana in that philosophy.
Grant Hill walking over here toward the sideline kind of took a look and raised his eyebrows like some game, huh?
and the finish on that, Purdue's only been there 3 times. Well, he knew he'd have a tough time. Roberts on him. You might look for the little 15-foot jumper for Grant because of the size. Bounce himself into position here. Pick and roll. They look to establish Parks on that play low.
Hill. And Duke leads by 1.
He can get good vision. Just the patience on the offense has to exist.
4:45 to play in the half. Waddell.
Matt with a smooch.
He has 6. The Boilermakers lead it by 1.
Once again reinforcing the ability of the others on this club. Here's one of their favorite plays. They'll weave out of this. This is a 1950 vintage. Oh, what a step through.
Grant Hill was surrounded by 3 players and found the basket.
You think this is a tough match here for me? 6'10" on 6 feet. Good harassing of the passer. Up under him, forcing him to put it down.
Robinson. Parks with his second block, and both of them on Robinson.
The Chief controlling his reservation. Good help. Then they forced him left. Once Robinson makes a move to the goal, he likes to drop step the other way. Grant stayed and led him to Cherokee. Look at the fill high, and they leave Meek alone.
Hill on the line. Let's take a breath with 3:22 to play. Cherokee Parks at the other end controlling his domain.
Greg Gumbel, I think Cherokee knew this was goaltending and just wanted to make sure that Glenn Robinson understood. I think he got it on the way down, but more importantly, there's an understanding now that if you get by Grant Hill, I'm going to provide a lift.
We have 3:22 to play in the first half. Duke leads it by 1, 30-29. You had a quick look at Glenn Robinson, 8.7 boards. In the first half of the last game he played, he was 6 of 9 from three-point range. He has not attempted a three-pointer yet tonight.
And that's because Hill's up and under him. Now he's going to here's the back screen and the alley-oop. Tough for Waddell, but not a good delivery.
Hill.
Oh, what a look.
Meek tracks it down.
And now we got what we wanted, huh? I know you were trying to represent one of them or 2 of them at some point in their career. Now they switch back, Lang on Robinson. I think it would have been a tougher match because of Grant's ability away from the basket. Much more patience by Duke.
Capel with the shot clock at 8.
Little curl by Grant.
Tough shot. And Conzo Martin comes away with it. Hill thought he was fouled.
Porter Roberts, his job, the edict for him is to just win. That's why he pulled it out, runs the show, gets them in their half-court action.
Waddell for 3. Waddell has 9.
Pretty good exchange, huh? A little handoff and the deuce.
32-30, Purdue by 2. Capel. And good position by Standback. Waddell up ahead, too far for Martin.
I don't know where he was thinking of leading them. Right here, you can see Roberts, he brought it out, and then the little dribble exchange. You've got to fight over or switch, whatever you decide, but nothing was done by Duke. A little bit of a breakdown by the guards.
Purdue with 7 turnovers now in the game. Duke has turned the ball over 6 times. And we're under a minute and a half for the first half.
And Robinson on Hill once again. See if they let him use the bounce.
Hill. Parks. Long arms of Cherokee Parks. And we have Grant Hill down on the floor.
In the melee after the rebound, probably when it happened, but you saw Parks once again establishing himself. Right here, I just thought he elevated beautifully. Doesn't knock it down. Has missed some good opportunities for him. But and it was Cherokee who came down on him. Inadvertent. Now, late in the year, he got hit in the face, too. Had to get some work done up by the eye area.
So it was his teammate's right elbow on his way back down, and Grant's back on his feet.
In fact, the game that he got hit over the eye, you see Calvin and Janet. Hillary's sweet mate at Wellesley, Hillary Rodman Clinton, by the way. And right here you see the elbow coming down on their son, who wisely chose basketball. He's thinking about it right there over football. Calvin, who has become a buff, looks at tapes, really gets after it.
Duke has 11 second chance points. Purdue has none. Here's Robinson. And stand back.
And opting to take him out, not to get the timeout called. Tough match for Lang.
Robinson too strong. Stand back. Tap up, no good. Collins with a rebound. 45 seconds to play in the half. Tie game at 32.
That's why you challenge shots, as Tony Lang did. Don't give a guy a free look.
Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Lang. And the offensive foul on Tony Lang. That's 2 personals on Lang.
And right away, Mike makes sure he doesn't get the third. Grant Hill up and healthy, but you've got to read ahead. After that first bounce, you should read the defense. A great step in and a bada bing by Ian Stanback. Excellent position D. They do help one another, just like Duke does.
28.5 on the clock. So for this last 28 seconds. Collins, Blake, Capel, Grant Hill, and Cherokee Parks on the floor for Duke. Keep an eye on Robinson or Conzo Martin.
Stepping out, but they like to get it to Glenn's hands. Here's the down screen, and now he's got a choice. He'll keep the ball until the end. Now, down to 7, should have.
Darner. And Robinson stand back with the shot at the buzzer, and it doesn't go.
Fatigue with Glenn. I think he should have held it and taken him himself.
In a pretty good first half. These teams start even and end it even. We're tied at 32 in Knoxville.
At Kentucky, you mentioned, although even during the first half, you think the pace favors Purdue. Why?
I think even because of the technical foul. I think the pace favors Purdue. I don't think Purdue has as much talent as Duke. Low possession game favors Purdue. Except, Stu, the rebounding is really hurting. Although Duke is only shooting 30%, that low shooting percentage is not getting Purdue out on the break. It's allowing Duke to offensive rebound.
Yeah, they're offensive rebounding at a pace. They've already had 10 offensive rebounds in the game that has really translated into 11 points. Although Duke's obviously shooting a low percentage, the offensive rebounding has been a big factor in keeping them in the game.
Okay, let's move quickly into it now. First half, Purdue getting support from other people. It's not been a one-man show.
It certainly is not. We mentioned before There have been a lot of benefactors from the attention that Glenn Robinson receives. Right now we have Waddell, Stanback, as well as Martin with 20 total points in the basketball game. Here's a perfect example on the fast break. You'll see Robinson streaking down the middle of the floor. He gets a lot of attention here from Collins. The ball gets skipped to Quanzo Martin for the open three. That's the type of point production they're going to get from their complementary players because Robinson gets so much attention.
Again, spotlight on Grant Hill, Rick. But you know what? Coach K, not necessarily a disciple of Bobby Knight's offensively.
No, he's not. They both have great spacing, but Duke likes to use the dribble more than Indiana does. Here they come off this high pick and roll. They love to use this play at the top of the key. Now the defense doesn't know whether to jump out, hedge out. They keep on going. They run a little dribble weave here. He sets it once again. Now he comes off and he sets it a third time. He gives him the ball, hand off to Grant Hill, jump shot. They love that high pick and roll until they get a good shot.
Okay, 30 seconds remaining. Which team would you be preferred to which team would you prefer to be coaching the second half?
Well, I'll tell you, my heart really is with Purdue because they're a Big Ten team, and we all know that's the greatest conference in the land, JB. But I'm going to take Duke down the stretch here.
Wow, Rick, nice political response on his part. What about you?
Well, we all love Duke, but I'm a Purdue man in this game because I think that Robinson has been shut down. Mike Krzyzewski has a decision. Do we keep shutting him down and let the other players have his points, or do we start concentrating on Waddell and stand back a little bit? I think he stays to shut down Robinson, but I think Robinson will come alive in the second half.
Wow, I look for a big second half from Robinson as well. Let's go over to Pat O'Brien.
All right, JB, coaches, thank you. We sent our first women's team to the Final Four in Richmond, North Carolina, beat Connecticut 81-69, the Final Four doubleheader in the national championship.
Devils and the Boilermakers are back on the floor getting ready for the second half. If it's anything like the first half, we're in for a treat. We're tied at 32. Bill and I and Andrea will be back to Knoxville in just a moment. Welcome back to Knoxville, everyone. Southeast Regional Championship, where the winner gets to go to Charlotte as a member of the Final Four. Greg Gumbel along with Bill Raftery and Andrea Joyce as well. We talked about the importance of the big guys, and the defense on those big guys becomes important as well, and both teams have done pretty well.
And they played them very well, and as the studio mentioned, others have stepped up. You look at the shot chart, Grant Hill 3 for 10, rushed some shots early and struggled. Glenn Robinson, he's been taking 25 shots during the tournament, 22 during the regular season. He's only gotten 10. They've been playing him very well. The big thing now, I think, is how you address the others. Do you shade them a little, stay with them a little bit more?
Well, those Purdue other guys have been doing very well. Matt Waddell with 9. Look at Ian Stanback with 6 points. He averages just over 4 a game. Second half underway. Purdue with the basketball. We're tied at 32.
And with Brantley in the game, you see Parks looking to zone up a lot more. Brantley out screening and opens this up.
Martin missed. Whistle underneath. Foul goes against Duke. That's on Grant Hill. That's his second.
Now, if Brantley could do a little thing or two on the offensive end, that could make some music for Gene Katie. Going down to the pine with some results, Purdue. Clark staying back in. This is the way they used to play me. 15 feet of leeway.
Waddell with a force. Robinson high for the tip that didn't fall, and Lang has the ball.
Now, the tough thing for Hill, he's got to play Robinson on the one end and then play offense on the other. That could be an impact on his offensive game, whereas Glenn can relax a little bit, not playing the talent on the other end.
Purdue shooting 52% in the first half. Duke just 35%, but owned the offensive board.
Who's that deep? Oh! Jeff wanted to play for his dad, and I can see why his dad wanted him to play.
9 points for people.
Nice spin out by Brantley.
Roberts will take the 3. And Parks has the ball. Robinson on Hill.
Nice dish.
Parks to the left hand, doesn't fall. And Roberts has it.
Got to take away that flash. That's what Brantley's job is.
Lang almost took it away from Roberts.
I think they ought to get the big dog involved a little. He's forcing him left. Tough shot. Tough shot.
Good defense by Hill. He has the basketball and brings Purdue back, or Duke back. Capel open again.
And unfortunately, he was a two-point shooter.
Timeout on the floor, and Duke has scored the first 5 points of the second half.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship Regional Final game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Depend on genuine Chevrolet. New ice brewed ice draft from Budweiser. And by American Airlines, something special in the air.
Back in Knoxville, we are here with former NBA player and former NBA coach Doug Collins. Also happens to be the father of Chris Collins. We're going to put you in an analyst role first. What do you think so far of the job Duke has done?
I think they've done a great job getting back into it after they were down 27-17, getting the crowd back into the game, and I wish I could say I was having fun.
Well, now compare, if you will, for me, what this is like. I mean, you've played in plenty of big games. You've coached plenty of big games. What's it like to be the dad out here? How does it compare?
It's terrible because you have no control. All you can do is sit and watch, Andrea. When you're a coach or doing other things, you feel like you've got some control.
All right, best of luck the rest of that game. We'll wipe your brow for you later. Back to you, Greg.
Tough being a Danny. Well, one of the foremost analysts in basketball.
Son Chris was a ball boy when Dad Doug was head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Purdue has gone cold. One of their last 10 from the floor, 0 for 5 in this half.
Well, they're being forced to have their other guys do the damage, and they haven't reacted as well. And Lang, that foul line has been open with a knockdown.
Tony Lang has come up big. He has 10.
They get to pick up their teammate quicker than most teams go for loose balls. Unbelievable effort getting them up, as well as Tony going for the denial. Grant's going to force him to put it on the floor anytime he's above the 3. Force him to become a threat with the bounce, and look at the double by Capel late.
Down the lane, Roberts won't go. Tap up. Let's see if Standback gets the credit.
I think they'll just give it to Roberts. He let it go. Great penetration.
Purdue's first bucket of the second half. 39-34, Duke. Hill with Conzo Martin on it. Parks. Fouled from behind, it looks.
The ability to get into the thick of things. Well, they have more than the Chattanooga Choo-Choo in Tennessee, as Robert's able to get to the goal, and then maybe you're right, huh? The putback.
Waddell with his first personal will send Parks to the line.
Now, Parks that time had a kick to the corner. But when you're that close to the goal and the help guy is a guard, why not power up? And Waddell took the brunt of it.
Just 2 nights ago, Glenn Robinson had an outstanding game, 44 points. So far this evening, he has 8. Meanwhile, Parks has given Duke a 41-34 lead.
And they try and post him up, but Parks is there.
Collins with the steal.
Alley-oop. Oh!
And Robinson retrieved. Robinson.
Great defense by Hill. Went to the shooting hand and scraped. Remember Mike's word, daring. Allow them to be daring. That pass by Capel, a lot of coaches would have been upset. It was a gamble, but that's the freedom that they're capable of playing with.
Capel finds himself open and chases down the rebound.
Don't need a hurry.
Hill sneaks inside. Here comes Waddell up ahead for Martin. Martin for 3.
You know what?
Robinson had it stripped. Out of bounds to Purdue.
Greg, you know why that was a good play? You've got Robinson coming down the middle, and a lot of coaches wouldn't like this, but Martin took the shot because he knew Robinson was underneath with Capel. He gets stripped, but an opportunity for an offensive follow. Good decision.
41-34, Duke.
They got to time the cut of Robinson with the reversal of the ball. They've been a little out of sync.
Waddell continues to be the leading scorer for Purdue. He has 11.
They get their press organized. They got to get themselves right back in it. Parks has got Robinson.
Shot clock at 10.
Grant Hill wanted it with Roberts on him.
Capel, long range three.
And the smile.
He has 14.
Mike is finding another star. Look at this help.
Too strong. Cable with a rebound. Jeff Capel, a 6'5" freshman, getting it done for Duke.
Great detail on each trip. Understanding when to go and double up on Robinson.
Duke looking for a double-digit lead here. Robinson way out on Grant Hill.
They're going to end up with a corner jump shot if they pinch on the penetration.
Collins missed everything. Stand back. Over Cherokee Parks.
Big goal. But you can notice where Parks can stay behind because he's got the size. If that doesn't go down, Duke's going the other way.
Collins on the drive. They're going to call a goaltend, and I'm not sure about that one.
I thought that was good. I just love the pick by Parks. This is the daring, the willingness to permit them to be themselves. You see the, yes, that's up over the cylinder, but that's just a gorgeous offensive play. Both Collins going strong to the 10 and Parks with the holdout.
8-point lead for the Blue Devils. Martin, open three.
What a rebound. Up, elevating over Standback.
Grant Hill with his 7th rebound. And that'll be a foul on Tony Lang for his pick out front.
Glenn Robinson, I felt the other night, got tired late. He's not going to get any rest, but they don't get him the basketball. He hasn't scored, and the reason is one, Grant Hill, and the 4 other people paying attention, particularly Cherokee Parks. He hasn't had to play anybody, so he's zoning up, assisting, enabling Grant Hill to be more aggressive in his denial out on the wing.
The last Glenn Robinson field goal was at 7:43 of the first half.
Now look at the shade left, and now the step up by Capel, and they reach down.
And he got fouled on that one and will go to the line.
He is an All-American. He's probably the player of the year. We'll find out tomorrow. But you can see over the top the confidence that others will step up. And, of course, it's so tempting when the ball's put back in your face to swipe as Grant Hill did.
That's 3 on Grant Hill, and he'll take a seat on the bench now. You know, yesterday when asked if matching up against Robinson, Grant said, I guess the best thing for me to do is pray. We thought maybe he'd go down to the Knoxville Dog Pound, and they might get a hold of him.
Okay, quiet down now. A key period in the game right now when Grant takes the blow. 8-7 now.
Also interesting to see how the good ones react when they're not having that sterling game as Glenn Robinson did Thursday night.
And I like what he did there. He took it upon himself to get the shot. I'll see the matchup. Capel now, he'll be able to get a shot over him, so Lang and others got to help. Look at him pull the string.
Lang came over to help. Rebound no good. Duke has it. Clark.
You may see Duke use a little more clock and go to Parks.
Capel.
So much for that. He is confident. A little bit quick.
46-39, 12-10 to play in the game.
I'd say Sunday earlier freshman. Let's relax just a little bit. They get the walk before the charge. Great help.
Gene Cady pleading his case to Gerald Boudreau.
In a nice fashion. He doesn't want to get the old heave-ho. But what's frustrating, they've gotten away from their sets. They early in the game ran some stuff, and right now they get the walk, but just the paying attention to detail, the assistance, and you can see Lang, we said the other night, they chart charges.
Konzo Martin back on the floor.
Good spin out. Look at him use the floor.
Mike Krzyzewski calls this one from the bench.
Little curl around the two post guys, and they got a lock. Good fill by Cherokee. Better defense.
Stand back, good. Waddell over the back, and they're going to call a jump ball.
Great hustle, though. The floor burns, the action.
Possession arrow favors the Blue Devil.
And you can see Purdue step up the D. It all starts with aggressive play outside, and eventually is the low post denial as they try and dump down. This club can play some D. It's the offense that's gotten them into trouble, Greg.
46-39 Duke. We'll be back. The two big guns for Purdue, Glenn Robinson and Konzo Martin, a combined 0 for 7 from the floor this half. And 6 for 22 in the game.
They got to shoot it. They got to shoot it.
Collins throws it up, and it came close.
They were alert on the inbounds, and Purdue ready defensively. You'd go get the morning paper if he told you to. Run the offense and get it to Glenn. But within the offense, he's back screens and gets free.
Waddell. Oh, Waddell is having a game. Gene Cady wants some pressure on the ball.
And they got tough to do it.
Waddell has 13 points, and Grant Hill is back on the floor with 3 personal. Just under 11 minutes to play in the game. For 3. Stand back for the rebound. (46-41) Duke by 5. Arizona has moved on to the Final Four. The winner here will do the same.
Again, the interior defense solid. Tough pass for Robinson to gather. I'm surprised Duke hasn't gotten Parks involved. They've been empty the last few trips. He can take his guy. Just the size differential.
Clark again open. And a big rebound from Robinson.
Settling.
Going to take it in and drew the foul. That's 4 on Hill. 4th personal on Grant Hill.
Purdue has been excellent finishing the sequence, forcing tough shots, the dribbling ability to the open floor, and right here with 3, a tough decision by Grant Hill. Puts a lot of pressure on Mike Krzyzewski and the guys on the floor. Capel now has to make some good decisions running the show, and I just think Cherokee's got to step up a little bit.
Robinson, 2 fakes, and he got the bucket. 11 for Robinson, and his first field goal since way back in the first half.
And interesting, Grant wasn't on the floor.
46-43, Duke by 3, 9:40 to play.
Nice front by Standback.
Standback staying between Parks and the ball. Nice feed to Parks.
This is why you build a team. They come along nicely. They win while they build. And all of a sudden, the composure in tight situations and the nice dump down and gather. What a big guy.
Cherokee Parks has 13. Duke's lead back to 5. Robinson. They'll make it Standback.
Lang had tied up Robinson beautifully. See, right now, I would force others to beat you. Puts a lot of stress and pressure on the less capable than Robinson. Capel's going to end up with a shot the way they're gambling down below.
Lang to the baseline. He has 12. Woo. Duke by 7.
They're not a one-man club. There was no question about that coming in.
Roberts for 3. Porter Roberts has 7. And we've come up on 8 minutes to play in the game.
Solid on both ends. Good cut. Look at this. Yes. He could have a field day.
Robinson no good. Collins there. Roberts tries to strip from behind. The winner gets a ticket to Charlotte.
Here's all the motion with the big guy on the box, the 5-man. Nice screen by Parks. Oh, is that pretty? And then the open.
Foul is on. Standback. Let's go back a little bit.
Well, you got to get your big guy involved, and he's got to help. Make some good, quick cuts. The gamble, the strong, send it in by the Chief. A little spunk and spirit, huh?
52-46 Duke. $23,370 have packed Thompson-Boiling Arena here in Knoxville. 7:17 to play in the game. The winner moves on, as Arizona did, to Charlotte. Grant Hill with 4 personals. Tony Lang with 3.
Well, they've silenced that ornery critter a little bit.
So far.
And it's a long way to go, too.
Duke by 6. Capel for Lang. Got the bounce. Tony Lang with 14.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski said yesterday, you've got to play tired to get to the Final Four, and that's what Glenn Robinson's going to have to do. Got to be active, get himself free. Here's a little down screen for him. And not much help out this far. Look at the hand swipe, and he fouled. He got away with it.
Out of bounds to Purdue.
Mobile. A little defense at Alabama from Antonio Lang. They always have a shutout guy, huh? Billy King a few years back.
Here's Robinson. And he lost it again. Here comes Duke on a roll. They've hit their last 4 shots from the field. Traveled before he called the timeout.
Glenn stepped it up defensively that trip. Had a little yoke on the eyebrow from the other end. Might as well retaliate.
6:20 to play in the game. And Conzo Martin will inbound. Grant Hill on the bench with 4 fouls. Martin.
Nice. Now they ran their stuff then and got a good look. They've got to be sound on the offensive end.
Purdue down 6.
As long as Duke is in control, Grant will stay on the bench. Back screen series. Nice little duck in. Boy, Cherokee does work.
Stand back working just as hard to stay between him and the basketball. Shot clock at 7. Capel.
Pretty. Major league. Earl Monroe in his heyday. The little drop step spin and knockdown.
The freshman has 16 points.
And there's mom and dad. Jerry, that's his brother there. Jason, 6'6", an 8th grader. You'll hear about him later. But right now, look at that plant of the right foot, the spin, and the soft caress by the Frosh. They gave him the clear out in the middle.
Porter Roberts commits his 3rd. Capel, 6 of 11 from the floor, 3 out of 3 from three-point land. 56-48 Duke. Dove inside.
He was smart enough to take it to the goal. Don't settle when you don't have that knockdown shot.
Dove's first basket of the night. Duke by 6.
We're half court, 1-3-1. They trap out of this. They end up with a corner jumper or a post fill by Parks.
Waddell almost got the steal.
Cherokee wants the deep one. Down to 7.
Clark, no, and the rebound to stand back with a good block out on Parks.
Little duck in by Glenn. They had him and they passed him up.
Martin for 3. And Parks has the rebound. Martin's three-point shot has not been there tonight as it was 2 nights ago.
Well, everybody in the country has a theory on Cherokee Parks. He should do this. He should take more shots. He just plays. He contributes whenever given the opportunity. Steps up for this club.
Collins out of the corner. And Dove has the rebound.
Should take their time. Big goal for the Boilermakers.
Under 4 minutes for the game.
And the biggest Boilermaker of all ends up with it.
And that's an offensive foul.
Look at the reaction. Well, you've got to love playing defense. You got to get down and enjoy it. And one thing, inbred through Michael Kay, is to get down and dirty. Comes over the top. You got Park supporting, but the footwork extraordinary. Drawing the charge, Greg.
Glenn Robinson scored 15 points against Wisconsin. Stu Jackson back in our studios knows all about that.
The intricate D of Stu. You know, when Kansas won the title with Manning, he was 33% of the offense. Larry Bird was 33% when they lost Indiana State during the Magic year.
Robinson with just 11 tonight so far. Grant Hill back on the floor. When he left the game in foul trouble with 4 at the 10-minute mark. Duke led by 5. They lead by 6 as he comes back.
And Robinson's 36% all year long of their offense. Tonight he's only 22%.
Shot clock at 8.
Oh, look at that pass.
A beautiful feed from Jeff Capel.
Robinson looked to double. Then they did the same violation they did earlier. Stand back, stepped in, and then back out. The double in the corner. Robinson spun around. Good post pass to Lang.
Duke with a chance to get it to a double-figure lead. 13 turnovers by the Boilermakers. And they will take some time off the clock.
Now they got a deuce milking before.
3 minutes to play in the game.
Might just let no Parks is out at half court in case you needed him.
Hill want to take it himself.
Being there, they do know how to put people away.
Robinson to the baseline. Doug will follow. Lang got that. Parks with the rebound, and he drew the foul. Tony Lang with a big block on the baseline.
Solid interior defense. Great reaction right here. You'll see Robinson, look, now he gets spun around and he never gets vision on Lang. One of the all-time kisses for Duke this season with a great pass for the post.
Porter Roberts with the foul in the backcourt. That's his fourth. So he's the first Boilermaker in foul trouble.
And look at the home run opportunity. Hold on.
Lang fouled from behind by Glenn Robinson.
They had everybody up. Purdue did not get the free safety, and I'm sure Gene Katie sees some of it slipping away, some breakdowns. And Mickey Krzyzewski, whose prayers continue to be answered. And right here on the out of bounds, everybody gambling. Robinson trying to say, no way, that should have been intentional. Good call by the officials.
Tony Lang has come up big for Duke today. 17 points, 5 rebounds. 18 points, 12-point lead for the Blue Devils. 2:25 to play.
Quick hitters that need pop-outs. Somebody posting up. They got to attack the glass on the shot.
Waddell.
Go up strong.
Robinson.
And look at the help by Parks.
Martin. Konzo Martin makes it a 62-52 game with 2 minutes to play, and a foul on Robinson. For Glenn Robinson, that's number 4.
Having the hammer and knowing how to utilize it. You'll see all the attention on the rebound without fouling. Look at all the bodies down there. 4, they eventually get it. The Cherokee influence in that release.
Capel at the line. Duke is now 13 of 18 from the free throw line tonight. Purdue 3 in just 5 chances.
Jeff prayed like that against Arkansas. It didn't work for him, but tonight it is. He was talking about Arkansas before the game, but a terrific basketball team, which we all understand.
Capel back up top to Collins, under 2 minutes.
White Jerry, son Jason, they'll all be recruiting him.
And the backcourt violation from the pressure put on by Martin.
And right away, Mike Krzyzewski up saying, relax, be composed. And I think being here, that's part of it. He mentioned that back in the old days, there's that violation, and you can't argue with it. He wasn't so sure in his early days how to handle this kind of a situation, but he certainly picked it up quickly.
Martin for 3. Not there. Cherokee Parks is. And that foul is on Waddell at 1:25 to play.
You know, Doug Collins was a great player. Will Robinson had them fight before each season up at Illinois State, taught him how to fist fight. His son is a fighter. I mean, he has not gotten the shots that he would like from his high school days, the first year or two, but he's contributed rebounding, solid D, stepped up for shots and penetrated when he's had to. Mom and Dad looking on.
Boilermakers with the ball.
Just scored. Doesn't matter how long it takes.
Robinson, 3 doesn't go. Stand back, tried to get it back outside and turned it over. And Roberts has it back.
2 or 3 doesn't matter right now. Just got to score quickly.
Waddell for 3. Got it. And a timeout with 1:01 to play. 63-55. 61 seconds remaining in this Southeast Regional Championship. Thursday night, Purdue killed Kansas with the 3. Not tonight.
Preparation, huh? And really taking Purdue out of what the offense dictated. They went to Glenn and really got jammed up trying to provide him with the basketball, and Chris Collins gets the giveaway.
Dove with the foul.
Herb over trying to, well, they know how to win, huh? Maybe started by this Tommy Hammaker. He was part of those original days.
Mike Krzyzewski and Duke looking for a 6th Final Four in the last 7 years and 7th in the last 9. Their 7th trip under Coach K.
I hope he let back in the house for dinner now. Doug didn't like him missing those free throws. A team that raised their level with Grant Hill being saddled first half and second with foul difficulties.
Robinson. 3 is short. Here comes Collins again for Capel.
Oh, say goodnight. It is now post time.
Robinson. And the foul in the backcourt committed by Waddell.
Incredible. You mentioned his ability in the open floor, huh? He can do it all. The slam, the reverse, the spin, the jumper. Jeff Capel will be a well-known performer before the month is out.
Gene Cady arguing a point at the scorer's table. Whatever it is, it's moot.
No, absolutely. I think more venting the frustration as you see it slip away.
Glenn Robinson will not become the first player to lead the nation in scoring and to lead his team to a national championship since Clyde Lovellette did it with Kansas in 1952. Martin hits the 3. And Collins will go to the free throw line with 3.9 to play. How did I do, Dad?
The smile of victory and the leader of the pack.
Glenn Robinson has fouled out.
What respect these two have for one another. Had a chance to sit down and have a chat and see them express feelings and understanding what the other's going through.
Glenn Robinson has fouled out with his lowest point total of the season, 13. 6 out of 22 tonight.
And a deep respect for one another as well. He is a absolutely great performer.
Great season for Purdue. They'll finish 29-5.
And Big Ten champion Gene Cady's guys stepped up beautifully. You think Doug would have given this one up, huh? On the money, and that's a backcourt combo, folks. That's not a leaper up front.
Look, Dan, I'm going to the Final Four.
That's what he said he went to Duke for.
This one's over. University has advanced to the Final Four. They add Purdue to the list, along with Texas Southern, Michigan State, and Marquette. And they will advance to Charlotte. 69-60 is the final. Capel, Tony Lang, 19 points each. Cherokee Parks with 15. Grant Hill with 11. The Blue Devils run their record on the season to 27-5. And let's join Andrea Joyce. Andrea.
All right, I'm with Mike Krzyzewski. Coach, congratulations. Didn't anybody tell you guys you weren't supposed to be contenders this year?
No, we were. I'm filled with pride, especially with when Grant had 4 fouls. Our game picked up. I got a sub for him more, I think.
Talk to me a little bit about the job your kids did on Robinson.
Well, there was an awareness on Robinson and Martin. And we have 2 great defenders, Grant Hill and Tony Lang, and they had great concentration, and they, you try to limit them, you're not going to stop them.
7th trip to the Final Four in 9 years, but it looks like this one is a little bit special. What makes it different?
Well, I don't think anybody expected that from these kids, and I didn't. And they've just proven me wrong the whole year, and they keep getting better and better. We're not a great team, but we're a real good team with a lot of heart.
And going back to the Final Four, congratulations. All right, Greg?
And a great coach, too, Andrea. He is now 7 for 7 in regional championship games. 69-60, Duke wins it. The Blue Devils advance along with Arizona to Charlotte and the Final Four next Saturday. Our Chevrolet players of the game, Tony Lang of Duke, Matt Waddell of Purdue. For Andrea and Bill Raftery, I'm Greg Gumbel. We'll get back to our studios in New York right after this.
Not a great team, but a good team with heart. That's the way Mike Krzyzewski just described his team. The Duke Blue Devils are heading to the Final Four. Welcome back to our studios in New York. Let's remind everybody that tonight on CBS at 8 o'clock. Let's look at the brackets first. And Duke will go ahead and play one of the Cinderella teams, Florida or Boston College. And Arizona will play Michigan or Arkansas, those games tomorrow. Now, tonight on CBS at 8 o'clock, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Then at 9 o'clock, the road home. At 10 o'clock, Walker, Texas Ranger. Let's go to JB. JB and the coaches.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. We all have been talking the coaching job of Mike Krzyzewski.
7 out of 9 years in the Final Four. Coaches wish they could get there once. As the song states, JB, he's simply the best. He's the best in the business, no question about it. The game plan today defensively to stop Glenn Robinson was 5-star. Glenn never had a look at the basket the entire afternoon.
5-star defense indeed. As a matter of fact, lowest point total ever now, eclipsing what you guys had, which was 15.
Yes, they did, and they did it with great defense from 2 very good defensive players, Antonio Lang as well as Grant Hill. They got great production from Capel, who really shot down Purdue, leaving obviously only 1 Big Ten team left in the tournament and 3 SEC teams. No, I'm sorry, 2 SEC teams. Kentucky has been eliminated.
All right, sounds good from here. Hey, your assistant did a job this time. He picked.
He did. We're 1-1 going into tomorrow. Duke in Charlotte. How about that for a little advantage?
All right, let's toss it back over. Let's toss it back to Pat.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Good job. Tomorrow our coverage begins at 12:30. Our first tip at 1:40. Boston College in Florida. Hope you enjoyed the day. Good night, everybody. Have a nice night.